Imagine this. You are a single older woman, and after COVID, you suffered not one, but three strokes, causing partial blindness, but you still moved abroad and you are thriving alone in Mexico. This is the story I want to bring you today. I want to introduce you to my guest. She's become a good friend, and we're going to learn everything about my friend Greta. So, don't go anywhere. Well, hey, Greta, we can hear you.
Can you hear me
I
now?
can hear you now.
Awesome.
How are you
Awesome.
today? Look at you, the cute glasses.
Every day I have breath, I am doing well.
Very good. Do you have any way of increasing your volume?
Yes, one moment.
A little bit.
Uh-oh. How's that?
That's good.
Great.
All right. So you guys know me, but today is all about Greta, my friend, my invitee. She's just someone who inspires me, her courage, her outlook on life, her sense of gratitude is truly inspiring. So I'm looking forward to introducing her to you guys and let you hear her story and also learn about Mexico. All right, Greta,
Yeah.
take a few seconds, minutes, and let the people know who you are and why you're smiling so brightly and what life is like for you. Give us the tea.
I am smiling because life is not about pain. Life is just sitting in the moment and enjoying that moment. Now,
Okay.
you could be in pain, but pain doesn't last always.
Okay. So tell us where you're from. We want to hear, where you live.
From Baltimore, Maryland, 30 minutes, no, 45 minutes from Washington, D.C., of where I worked seemed like forever. For 2 years, I worked at Food Drug Administration.
Oh,
Yes, at the FDA. And I was a project manager there right during 2020, the pandemic. And it was,
pandemic.
yes, and it was required of me if I was to keep my job to take the vaccination.
Oh,
Well, I don't take medicine. I had stopped taking medicine when I was in my 20s. I'm in my 60s now. So, in order to keep my job, I had to take a vaccination. And in taking that vaccination, I felt something funny in my arm.
was
When
it
I
only
took
one shot, the first shot?
the first shot, I looked around. I said, did anybody feel anything? Because I felt something when I got it. I noticed no one wasn't falling out or anything. It kept feeling like I was being shot all over again, over and over, over and over. And then when I got home, I asked my brother in law, I asked other people that got their shot that week. When I went to bed at night, I was still feeling as if someone was shooting the needle in my arm. And this went on for about a year. People were telling me I was hallucinating. No, I wasn't. I don't take medicine. That was in 2022.
So you took it in 2020?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I was feeling all of that. I think it was 2020, whenever that date was. All I know, all of this transpired, the pandemic during that time. A
So
year
did you
later,
feel anything else except the shooting in your arm?
um, there was pain, a lot of pain every night in my arm, in the spot where they inserted the needle. It was like they were sticking it every night in that
For a
one
long
spot
time.
for a long time.
Wow.
And I had to get used to that. And no one
Because,
could,
a little bit of, discomfort is normal after a shot, but not after a year.
And I just maintained, kept going on, living my life. And then I was working on my dissertation under a lot of stress at school.
She's a PhD. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm PhD in metaphysics. Meta, which is
Wow.
beyond.
I'm
Meta
more
is
impressed now. Metaphysics. Woo! All right.
ever since I was a child. I loved metaphysics and didn't know what it was. I had to hide the books that I was reading underneath the bed. I
Wow.
read a lot of philosophy books. I just loved it. I wanted to know about metaphysics is about um, beyond physics. Meta is beyond,
Right.
and physics is the physical world. I
Right.
need to know everything
Mhm.
beyond this flesh meat,
Right.
and that got me excited. So I remember April 22nd, when I was about to retire for the night, I got an email from my school saying your dissertation was approved. I said, "Yay!" My dissertation was Sacred Rebels, Breaking the Rules. Um, Look, I can't remember the whole thing. I'll recall that and send it to you.
Okay.
Rules, Awakening to Self. It was similar to that. And I began to notice I'm living what I wrote. That's when I received within myself, what we speak is our medicine.
Mm.
The next day when I woke up, I was ready to tell everybody. I woke up and you know how you just rub your eyes, wiping the sleep out your eyes. I was rubbing my eyes and I was babysitting a dog for my friends. And I took the dog out, and for about an hour, I was rubbing my eye. And I came back. I said, "This is not going away." I went down to the doctor. I called my doctor, took a cab over there, or I'm still saying cab, took an Uber over there to the doctor's, and the doctor was scared. I'm looking at the doctor, you scared. Then should I
Was
should
he
be?
looking in your eye?
Yes. When
Okay.
I told him what was going on, he said, "I need you to go to my doctor." he he wanted me to go to his doctor, which was across the street. I went to his doctor, both of them, one Asian man and another white man. He's going to ask me, "Do you eat anything with Crisco in it?" I said, "He's outdated. No one does that anymore." And he laid me out. I don't know why. And I said, "I don't like your bedside manner." As I went outside, there was another lady said, "Go to Johns Hopkins." I don't know where she came from. She just was there and
Uh-huh.
said, "I need you to go to Johns Hopkins." I went to Johns Hopkins and she told me the name of the person to see. I went to that person. He saw he saw me when I got there. I had arrived at 9 a.m. He
But in
saw
the
me.
meantime, were you having visual difficulties or just rubbing?
I kept rubbing my eye. I said, "Something is wrong." I went to the doctor. The doctor did an exam and put shots in my eye. And it was about, I would say 45 minutes. He came to me. He said, "I hate to say it, but you had 3 strokes." He said, "You had 2 in the brain and 1 in the eye." I did not have pain. I felt like
Did they do an MRI of your brain?
they did a MRI at 12 midnight the same day. And when they did the MRI, the technician came to me and said, "You later on, you're going to experience some poison because you're going to experience difficulties in your kidneys because we had to use
The
the
dye.
dye, the cataract." So I remembered that, and I went under that, whatever that was. I woke up in the room, and he said, "Well, the doctor said I'm your neurologist," and I remember my pastor was there. And I said, "Oh, how are you doing?" Blah, blah, blah. And I introduced my pastor to the doctor. And the nurse came in to see the doctor. And then the doctor said, "Your heart is inflamed." I said some bad words. I said, "Where the F you get that from?" he
Wow.
said, "You would curse at me like that?" He said that like I was supposed to be embarrassed because my pastor was there. I pointed, I said, "I was cussing him like that." But I told him, that is your diagnosis. That's not my prognosis. My prognosis is what I believe. And I'm going to see again, not by your hands, by spirit's hand.
So you had
They,
2 strokes, your heart's inflamed, and your kidney might be damaged.
yep. And oh, he said, you have anything else wrong with you? I said, y'all told me. Not him, the doctor, my other doctors. I said, y'all told me that I had what you call that? That most people, oh God, I can't even think of it. Lupus. I said, y'all told me I had lupus. Why would I want to make up that I had lupus? He said, because we checked you. You don't have lupus. Who told you that? I said, y'all did. I said, y'all also told my mother that she wasn't going to have children. See why I don't believe in doctors? I
Ah,
have a very high belief system in myself,
yeah.
and I trust my intuition. And I knew then that I had to fight for my life and fight for myself. First, fight by me working at the FDA. I knew the background story with the food, so I wanted to make sure that I understood what I was eating, examine what I was eating, and not put myself under stress. I got back home in my luxurious apartment. I looked at it. I said, I'll have you again. I'm letting this go.
So the strokes were just in your optic nerves in your eye. You didn't have any physical deficit. You were
Not yet.
walking. Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Okay. Hold it right there. Let's just continue. I'm going to kind of keep everybody in a little suspense because the story is so good. But I realized I did not introduce myself. So we know Greta. I'm
Yes.
Maggie, and this channel, what it's about, single women retiring abroad. I am a retired nurse practitioner, and I have been living in Panama for the last 3.5 years. I am also the creator of SWRA, Single Women Retiring Abroad, a group of sassy older women like myself who have made a conscious decision to retire abroad, live our best lives, create community while we reinvent ourselves. But the ultimate goal of SWA, and I always like to stress that, is to create a newer model of aging abroad that is sustainable and affordable. So if any of this is of any interest to you, I invite you to like the video, share it with your friends and families, and subscribe to the channel. Also, you may want to click on that little bell so that you are aware whenever I go live, which is every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, or when I post a new video. So now I got my little spiel. I always have to memorize that. So we're going to go back to our friend Greta. I mean, I cannot even imagine going to a doctor, just rubbing your eye, and then being told that you've had not one, not two, but 3 strokes.
I had
That's
three.
going to drastically change the trajectory of her life. All right, Greta. So you got this crazy diagnosis, and you know who, you got your mindset. So what happened
Yes.
when you got home?
I realized that, okay, let me sit in this space for a moment. They said I do
And
not have,
absorb all this.
yes, they said I do not have lupus, but I had 3 strokes. How is that going to impact my job? I could still do my job, but my job, when my job found out 2 months later, they said they didn't want me. So I made a conscious decision. If they didn't want me, I didn't want to be in this apartment. I had the best time letting go. I love letting go of things. I had parties, invite people over who I knew was struggling, fix dinner, and said everything you ate on. You could take the plates, you can take the, you could take the glasses, you could take whatever you see in the apartment that you like. Please take it. I
That's
don't
how
want.
you got rid of stuff.
Got rid of stuff, clothes, jewelry, everything. My sister took a lot of my clothes, and my next to the older sister, she took it because she and I are about the same height. She's close to 6'1". She took my clothes, shoes, my high heels. I had to let them go.
Oh wow, I
I
didn't
let,
have any problem letting those go.
I gave that to my girlfriend who was also as tall as I was. I let go my gorgeous clothes. I packed them up. I
Well,
folded them.
you were in DC. Yes, you had to look the part.
Yes. And well, I was living in Owings Mills. I was working in DC.
Okay.
So my
Still,
couch, yes,
go ahead.
my gorgeous couch that I got from my brother-in-law, I gave it to a friend and his family. They were struggling. I said, if y'all can come and get this couch. I had a gorgeous $800 picture of this African woman. I let her go. I just kissed her. I said, if you can get all of this, take all of this out. He said, you don't want nothing from it? I said, nothing.
Well,
I cannot.
let's backtrack though.
Yeah.
So 2 months later, your job said they didn't want you because of what had happened to you?
Yes. And then I noticed I contacted the insurance company because I signed for an addendum in case I had stroke. You paid extra money and say in case you have cancer. Hear this, people. If you have cancer, heart attack, and stroke, if you pay an extra $20 to this addendum,
Mhm.
when you have these, we will send you $20,000. Ding, 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 track. They're getting all the money. So I had the stroke. I called HR to see if I could get a loan. Perhaps it could help me in the in between months. And they said, contact, you signed the addendum, contact your insurance company. I did. I
Mhm.
called them and just as nice over the phone, I told them what happened. And they said, well, oh, you can apply to get this $20,000. As I was applying, they sent a decline. They
Not surprised.
they said the stroke that I had was not the kind of stroke they were talking about. I was being how would you say it? Because I lived,
Because they were looking for somebody who couldn't walk, couldn't talk.
$20,000 is not going to do it.
But that's what they
So
were looking for, the classic
yes,
signs of a stroke, which
yes,
you didn't have.
not yet.
So that's what I'm saying. Let's backtrack because you're talking about moving and getting rid of stuff. But I wanted to find out what happened from the time you got the diagnosis. Did you start experiencing any other
Yes,
physical ailments?
I started experiencing weakness in my right arm, and
Okay.
then of course, with the stroke in the right eye, gradually everything on the right side of my body was impacted.
Mm.
It hurt to sit down. I noticed I was sliding when I was walking with my right leg. I said, "Oh no!" As you would say it, no bueno.
No
It's not.
bueno.
That's not a good look. So I was being very humorous to myself. I would always talk to myself. I would read a lot of neurodynamic books, and I realized I was getting weaker. So I said, well, if I'm getting weaker, let me build myself by getting stronger. I walked 10,000 steps every day. Every day, I just kept walking. I just kept pushing it out there. I saw a lot of victims of different diseases out on the track walking. I said, I'm walking too. I said, keep it going. And that's what I
But that
did.
was right in the middle of COVID too, wasn't it?
No, right after COVID, right
After
directly,
COVID. Okay.
directly after COVID. And
Okay.
I kept walking every day. And then I decided to do mono meals, eating one type of food. I would let my body tell me what to eat.
Mm.
I was having pain on the right side and have trouble walking. So one week I just ate nothing but cabbage. Or maybe for breakfast one day I would eat 10 oranges
Mm.
and just get up and go and walk. Walk until I didn't feel walk until I did not want to walk anymore. I would walk those 10,000 steps. But then I realized I had to make it back.
Yes.
There was
That
another
happened to me
10,000
when I
steps.
went to Sedona. I'm like, I got to the mountain, I have to go down. Okay, so what was this, the weakness and the pain some of the reasons why your job let you go? Or maybe you couldn't focus with the eyes.
I don't know why they let me go.
How did they
Because
find out you had the stroke? Did you tell them?
hmm,
Did you tell them you had this thing in your eye?
I was in the Zoom meeting when I had it. I thought it was, I mean, no. when I woke up and I couldn't
And you were
see. So
rubbing
the
your
next
eye.
day, yeah, the next day, I just went, I thought it was going to go away. And I went to a Zoom meeting the next day after I came from the doctor and everything. I just didn't take it. I did not take it seriously because I just
Seriously, yeah, of course.
thought it was going to go away. I wasn't feeling bad, but symptoms came slowly. I was doing my work as I normally do. I was on the computer, and then I began to think about it. This is stress.
And what
I
happened
had
at the Zoom meeting though?
at the Zoom meeting, ladies, she just said, "Well, Greta, why don't you to get some rest? You need to
Because
get
what,
some
you
rest."
couldn't focus or anything with your speech
No,
or
nothing with my speech. I could focus. I was just like I am now.
mm-hmm.
Just like I
And
am now.
why would she say take some time? I mean, if I didn't know you had a stroke, I couldn't tell. So what did
Yeah.
you see that made her say that?
I told her I had a stroke. The doctors
Oh,
said,
you told her. Okay.
yes. And with that benefit, you have to submit your medical paperwork and get your
Gotcha.
release to
Mm-hmm.
go to the doctors. So
Mm-hmm.
I was not approved to get my money from the insurance company. Then my job insurance company with the hospital said they were not going to pay for my hospital bill because I did not call them and tell them I was having a stroke. I
Yeah.
said, the games people play.
Oh, yeah.
I could not worry about that. I just had to focus on. So this was like in April, and they gave me till August. I said, okay, I'm figuring in my mind, April to August. I can do this. I got rid of everything. I got rid of everything. I still was having the pain. I began to my right leg began to be sore when I go down steps. I was unable to go down steps and come up steps. I was unable to sit on hard benches. And I was just focused on healing myself through the meals, through thinking right, through resting. And
So they gave you from April to August. Was that where you were working throughout those months between
I
April?
sure was.
Okay. So you were trying to do things to kind of recover, get yourself strong, but you were still working in some capacity.
Still working. I was trying to figure it out. How am I going to make money for this luxury apartment that I'm in? I was really trying to hold on to the apartment. And then I had an awareness one day, let go of everything.
Mhm.
What's the worst that could happen? Because I've already experienced the worst. And that was the fun part. I put James Brown on and decided, yeah, James Brown's my go to man. I put James Brown on and looked around. I said, I could do this. First, I contacted everybody on my floor. They seen my apartment. I said, whatever you want, come and get. And did they come?
So what was the plan in your head, Greta? You said, okay, working from April to August.
Oh, mhm.
So you determined that you were going to let go of the apartment because you
Yes,
knew you were going to lose your job.
yes.
Okay. So what was the plan B? What was your plan
At
B? What
first,
did you want to do after that?
I was on the third floor, and at first I was going to go down, and I was in a two-bedroom apartment, paying $2,200 a month.
Okay.
Yeah. I said, and at first I contacted my apartment business house, and I was going to move into a studio.
Got you.
And I said, I ain't doing that either.
Mm,
I'm not putting no more stress. All of this was about stress.
okay.
I, and all of that, I thought about, well, what had caused me stress? My school has caused me stress. Being a contractor caused me stress. Paying this high rent was causing me stress. And I was in a stressful environment trying to figure it out. I was trying to figure it out. And the trying to figuring it out
Was stressful.
was stressful. And it wasn't until I realized, I said, wait a minute, I got Social Security, but I was 61.
Mhm.
Social Security wants you to be down to zero to collect them.
Mhm.
I didn't have money saved. I didn't know what to do. So what happened in between that time, I searched around to see where could I live in someone's home. Um, my family was not that supportive. I wouldn't say when people find out you're sick, they'll just mull over it and go into the next topic. but you're in it 24/7. It
Mhm.
is your life. So
Mhm.
I wanted to create a different life. And I know with change comes a lot of things you have to face. And I did that. The main thing was, how am I going to survive without money? Because
Right.
Social Security said you have to wait a year. I'm
Well, yeah,
sick with
because
it.
you were 61.
Yeah.
The
I'm
earliest
sick
you
with it.
can collect is 62.
And when I say that year, what I'm doing, what I was doing step by step, I did it for a whole year. And it wasn't easy, but I did it.
So
And
you
I
got
did
rid of
it.
the apartment. You didn't get the studio.
I got rid of the apartment, got rid of the clothes, got rid the other juicy part I didn't tell you, I was always cold. Always cold. I had the heat on and the heater. It was April. The heat and the heater and my blankets, and I looked like a sheet of paper. I said, this not working. This is not working. I have to go to a warmer climate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that how you ended up in Merida?
In Merida, it came up. When I saw the name come up, I researched it. It said Merida, the safest places, one of the safest places in Mexico.
Yes.
And then I was looking for a hot place.
Oh, it met that criteria for you.
And they said with the temperatures up to
Average.
102. And I noticed a lot of expats was talking about it's too hot here. And I said, if the expats say it's too hot, that's where I'm
That's
to
where I
go.
need to be. All
Nobody
right.
come and mess with you in the
I
heat.
think this is great. Sometimes it's a little difficult to follow the story, but once you made that decision, so this job did not offer you any benefit,
No,
like workers' comp or
no,
anything like that.
no,
It was like,
no,
you mentioned being
no.
a contractor. Were you a contractor at your job or were you
Yes,
employed?
yes, I was a contractor.
Okay, so that's a no bueno there. You're not
Yeah,
gonna do anything. Okay, so you don't have to go into details, but for that year until you qualify for Social Security, what happened?
I just lived in a room at my girlfriend's sister's
With
house.
friends. Okay.
Yes, I lived with friends, and I knew, I don't know how I knew if I continued to make it work, if I focused on, I didn't have a real plan, but I focused on Merida,
Mm-hmm.
that I was going to get there. I started doing a lot of meditation. At first, it started with one on Saturdays, and I've been in that for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it is through the meditation allowing me to change my life and working towards Merida, getting things done. When crisis happen in your life, it's time for a change. And
Yeah.
you have to, yeah, you have to allow it.
So Merida came about because you were considering moving abroad because you didn't want to stay in the
Yes,
States, or okay.
yes. When I was a young child, I always wanted to live abroad. I had dreams about it. I still have stamps that I collected. And, and because I was always cold, I wanted to live in hot
You wanted
places.
somewhere warm. So
Yes,
after this whole saga, you were like, this is the right time.
yes,
Okay. All right,
and
that makes sense now.
yes.
And during that time, while you were doing research, did you then qualify for Medicare? That 1 year happened?
No,
I mean,
no,
not
I did not.
Medicare, Social Security.
The Not until that December.
Okay.
And when that December came, I planned my trip to Merida. I planned a
Okay.
10-day trip.
Mm-hmm.
First day, I said, I'm coming back for life. I came back and had a ball. I was only here for 10 days. I said, I'm
Mm-hmm.
coming back. And I came back and I spent another 6 months. And I met me some friends. But I was in the hotel and I said, this is not the real Merida. Real Merida is with the community, with the Mexicans, in the cement houses with the street food. That's where I am now.
That's where you are. And
I
when I
love it.
first met you, you were in an Airbnb that was close to to the mall. Is that where you still are?
I'm in the Airbnb. It's 35 minutes from the mall. The market is 3 blocks up. The baseball game with the retired men is around the corner. The street tortas is around the corner. I get up and go get me street tortas. When they see me coming, they know what type of torta that I like. When they
And
see me
torta
coming,
is what again?
it's a sandwich.
Okay.
And when they see me coming in the market, I say, "Hola, todos," to everybody. I'm the only tall black girl in there. First one, I'm the only tall black girl person on the street.
Well, how tall are you, Greta?
I'm I want to say between 5'7" and 5'8".
Okay. Yes,
Yes,
you're taller than everybody else.
I'm taller. I'm taller than everyone. And, I just enjoy me practicing my steps in Merida. It's different. Yes, it's different than the United States because I had to get used to the streets.
And the
Street,
sidewalks or lack thereof.
the sidewalks. You will have a conversation with Jesus if you fall. I was scared every time I
The
walked.
other day I was watching Rashida Dow and Peaky Girl, and they were talking. They're like, I think something about the football or something. They said they don't know what it's really like. And then Peaky Girl said, I've never seen blind people be so independent in the city. It's like they know exactly where to go. But anyway, it was so funny. So where you are now,
Yeah.
did you find it on your own or did somebody refer you to that place?
My girlfriend Heather, who did have a YouTube channel,
Mhm.
she lives in Concal actually, and I subscribed to her channel. I loved it, and she was having health challenges. She told me about this place
Okay.
because I was living in the hotel. When I left the hotel, the north side, that's where the high end stuff is. I'm high end. I like that. I like the high end stuff. And when I was in the car and she was driving over here, I had tears in my eyes. This don't look like a place I wanted to come to.
Mm.
She parked the car and I got out that car, my body said, "Don't leave me. I'm scared." She left me. I got lost, but I
Oh,
found my way.
okay.
I found my way.
So let's talk about I'm assuming you went back and forth to see the doctors. What was their prognosis? Did they say whether you were going to get some of that side back? What did they tell you to expect long term?
Well, long term, what I didn't tell you, they say along with the three strokes with blindness in this eye, I also have CRAO. Hmm. It
Well, you have to
possibly,
tell people what that is.
I don't know what it is. It's almost like they made it up.
CRAO.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can also affect this eye. I can't live my life sitting back wondering if this eye is going to go blind. I said, I'm living my life now. What's the motto? What's the worst that can happen? I already have $0. I can't see.
Central retinal artery
Uh-huh.
occlusion.
Uh-huh. I went to a retina specialist here in Mexico. I paid $46 to see him. He was so cute. He was so cute, cute little old man. He sat down for 2 hours and educated me on the retina. I thought that was precious. He said, why did you come to see me? I said, I was recommended to you by my friend, Dr. Mango, which I'll tell you later. He said, because this is not a saving of the eye mission. You don't have any blood in that eye. You won't see out of your retina again. There's no blood flowing there. And I just said, sir, thank you for the diagnosis.
He's talking about the right eye.
Yes. I said, that's all I needed was your diagnosis. I didn't come here to hear you tell me that I'm going to see again. I decide when I'm going to see again. I said, I came here to you for proof. I need you to diagnose me correctly so I can have proof on paper when I
Right.
see
What
again.
you have. Mhm.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what is your vision like in the right eye now?
And the right eye is still blind,
So you
but
don't
I
see
believe
anything at all. You see shades or
nothing.
is it fuzzy
I see
or
black. It's
black?
black. And I believe this. even when there is no evidence. Hold on to the fact of your belief. When there's, and I've always lived like
Mhm.
this for a long time. Even if I don't see the evidence of light in this eye, I keep on going, knowing I live in the knowing fact that I'm going to see.
That's
I'm
faith.
going to see
What
again.
about the left one? Do you have a regular
Yes,
vision in the left?
I have regular vision in the left. Yes,
Okay.
yes, just
So
like
that's
with my
that's
leg.
good.
Yes, just like with my leg, I knew I was going to walk again despite what I was seeing and feeling. If I believe, which is strong, if my belief says you will walk again and you put all the effort to it, I'm going to walk again.
Mhm.
If I believe, and I just told the doctor yesterday, he said, this was a spiritual doctor. He said, "Are you going to see again?" I said, "Yes, I am."
It's not the if.
It's not if, it's
Okay,
not
so
when.
how does that affect your daily life? You're able to get around, you haven't fallen or anything like
When I
that?
no, I have I pay attention to that. I do not. I made sure I don't be in a place where there's a lot of steps. I don't do steps.
Okay.
Everything here is flat. I'm in a one bedroom. It seems like it's large, cement apartment. And when I go to bed at night, I have these two turned on. They're flashlights. So when I wake at night or have to get around, there's a gleam of light somewhere that can lead me and guide
So
me.
you don't miss and
That's right.
fall.
That's right.
You see how
I
you
take my
adjust. That's great. So how is
yes.
your walking now, your gait? Are you pretty good or do you have to wear a cane or use a cane or anything like that?
I do not use a cane. I
Okay.
keep practicing walking because I know my steps around here. I don't go to no strange streets. Mm-mm. No bueno, as you
No
said.
bueno.
No bueno, because these cement blocks are not playing.
Ooh, you're gonna break something.
If somebody robbed from you, let them rob you because they don't know that they don't know what the next block look like. The cement block could be high.
So I remember you were here in Merida and then you went back home for a little while
Yes.
and then you came back. So
Hmm.
tell us about, we kind of going on time here. Tell us about
Okay.
Merida. I know you like the people,
Yes.
you know the road, so it's comfortable for you instead of starting a new place where you're going to have to learn your way around again.
Yes.
But what else do you like about Merida? We know it's hot. What else do you like about it?
I love that the people are loving. They want you to succeed in their land, on their land. Mexico is about service. And as they serve me, I serve them. The gigantic suitcase I bought with me, I gave it to them. Anything I don't want, I wrap it up, fold it, and give it to my neighbors because they only make $14 a day.
So the
My,
Airbnb that you're in, it's like an apartment building or is it a house?
It's a Mexican house and it has rooms.
Mhm.
Well, not they turned it into five different apartments in the back. So
Okay.
I'm in the first and biggest one. Everything else
So
is
what
small.
about your neighbors? Are they all Mexicans? People who
The
live
ma-
in the other apartments around you?
yes, yes,
Okay.
the majority of them are all Mexicans. There's some Canadians up the street that just
Mhm.
purchased a place.
Mhm.
Um, yeah,
So you're
there.
surrounded by locals, which is great,
Yes.
and you feel like you're in community with them?
Oh, yes. I walk past I'm not gonna say he's homeless. This guy sit underneath a tree every morning. He wait for people to come by because they want people to clean up their yards and stuff.
Yeah.
So I would call him the neighborhood service man. He sees me every morning walking to the market. I say, hola. I say, hola. When he come here and clean the leaves, I make sure I have water for him because he's sitting out there
Oh,
watching the baseball game. I wave at the baseball game. The children, you can hear the children next door at school. It's just a beautiful environment. It's
okay.
beautiful and it's healing, but it allows you to have a pause of what you
Yeah.
used to do.
So you don't cook?
Yeah,
You cook here?
I cook. I
Okay.
cook the one pot meals. I do my I do my cabbage. They don't have collard greens. I haven't found none yet. I do my cabbage with my potatoes and with my Swiss chard.
Do you have an
Everything.
Instapot? You have one of those pot where you
No,
just
I
put
do.
everything in?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
And Airbnb, you take what they give you,
That's
and it's a
right.
pot. It's a pot, and I put a top on it, and I'm just grateful.
Keep
Put
it
my
moving. Keep it
potatoes.
moving.
Yeah, I
Good. So
I
you
use
like the people, you like the
yes,
weather.
yes.
So do you see Merida as a place where an older person like myself or another sister could live comfortably?
Most definitely. I've met so many. I've met so many
So there
black
are
and
a lot of
white.
expats there?
It's not in this community, no. But people who have their, I don't know, want to call them, I would say retirees,
Hmm.
older ones. Oh my goodness. When you meet one, it's just so refreshing. I met a white man from UK. He said he lived here and he just said, baby, you all right? Well, I'm like, go ahead, sir. He said, I live here too. It's just so beautiful and refreshing. He
So if
drives Uber.
so they would be okay because there are other expats and
Yes,
people are friendly. Okay.
yes. I would say this, Maggie. If you're friendly, you'll find friends.
That's true. That is true. Okay, so what is the visa like? Are you on a temporary visa? Are you a resident? Do you feel comfortable saying, giving us
Sure,
any other
sure. I'm
information?
on a tourist visa. I came here under the guise last year thinking that I was going to get the RNE, which
Mhm.
is the regularization, which would allow you to come into Merida and be approved for the residency program without financial proof. However,
Mhm.
when I arrived back in here in 2025, they canceled the program. So I had to think of another way to become a resident. I
Mhm.
will be a resident. That's another mantra in the back of my head. I will be
Okay.
married a resident. I had to think there are other ways. We have to stop thinking one-sided. And
Mhm.
I thought of
And
many
you
different
found
ways.
another way.
I
Okay.
found I found another way. It's gonna take a lot of work, but I found another way. I said, I can do
But
this.
she's a researcher.
I can do this. And I got excited. I
Good.
got
Good for you.
excited.
How about safety? How do you feel in Merida?
At 4 o'clock, between 4 and 6, when I go to bed,
Listen to her. I thought I did that.
when I go to bed and I wake up, I'm fine.
So
I'm
you don't
fine.
feel any, you don't have any concern for your personal safety there.
I don't have concern for my personal safety. I would say this: there are some Mexican men. Um, you see a man going to be a man. Some men, some of them going to be a
Mhm.
man, and some there's not. I'm not going to be one to say, oh, there's no crime in Merida. Yes, there is, but I don't go looking for it. And my times of being to myself is that. But what I will say is you just have to be aware of
Mhm.
where you are. I make sure I have neighbors that know me in the area simply because if you see the cops, you don't know if they're friendly or not. They will stop you, want to see your passport, want to see your ID,
Have you
and
been
possibly
stopped?
yes, I never been stopped
Oh,
except
never.
except in the market.
Okay.
They stopped me and
The
checked.
police came to you in the market and wanted your ID?
No, and just he just wanted my empty bag, wanted to make sure that it
Oh,
was
to check your
fine.
bag. Okay.
Yes,
No, no, that's
yes.
different.
So he
Okay.
since knows my face. When I see the police officers sitting outside the market, I go to them first and say, "Hola, you're gonna know
You
this
want to see
black
it?
girl. Mhm. You're gonna know this black girl in the area." So when they see me now, they just wave. I'm waving. I make sure that I'm not a stranger in the area.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
wonderful. Okay,
yeah.
guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So we have a synopsis of um Greta's life in Merida. So, what is the long-term plan? I know you say you're going to get residency in Mexico, so I'm going to take your
Yes.
word for it. But what's
Okay.
next for Greta?
Yes. So I know my plan is so big that sometimes I just sit down and say, "How did I get here?" Well, since I don't follow the norm, I don't like to follow anybody. I like to sit and get in silence and hear what is for me. Well, if I'm learning AI, why don't I share that with a broader audience? So I chose to go to Vietnam. I'm choosing to go there because they have the highest mortality rate in strokes.
Of what in strokes?
Strokes. They have highest mortality in strokes, and they're known for have the highest number of, let me see, people having strokes.
I did not know that.
Also, I found out that those that have strokes there do not have post therapy. They don't have the resources. They don't even have people to visit them to encourage them. So I want to be that catalyst in between to sit with some post stroke people, present them tools to get better, to move to the next step. I want to
So
unite with the
like
hospital.
rehab.
Yes, they don't have that. They don't have that after they have stroke. So I want to be that catalyst, not only for them, but also for the people that are blind. There's nothing for them. And Vietnam has a stroke National Stroke Day, October the 29th. I want to make sure that have a tool created so that can be used and work with the government,
Oh,
some NGOs, and present it, say this is an AI inspired tool that I'm using. So I decided to become the solution to a problem as
yes.
opposed to be a problem. Vietnam, I think you can only be there for 90 days and then you do your
Yeah.
board run.
Then you
So
have
if
to
I
go off and come back.
Yes, yes. So if I create a tool to be used not only in Vietnam, but also create a tool so I can be a resident in Mexico, find out what is it that they need, and I can have someone either buy the tool or be approved by the government to use it. It's going to take a lot of work on my end. That may mean I can't go to any night shows. I don't go to night shows anyway. I love
Ah,
I love research and I love
yes,
AI. I'm
you
getting
do.
certified in it. And
You certified in AI now?
no, I haven't. I can only do one thing at a time. So I'm taking care of myself to get to
Okay,
Vietnam. And
but
when I
that's the
finish,
goal for you to be AI certified. Is that what you're saying?
yes, I have the classes. I just got to do the classes. There's 100
Okay.
modules I got to do. So I think I can do them before I leave on August 11th and
So
get
you're
certified.
leaving for Vietnam in August,
Yes, I am.
and you
August
don't know
11th,
when you're gonna come back to Merida
every 6 months.
every
I'm gonna
six
do
months. So
Vietnam.
you're gonna be bi-coastal
Yes,
and but get your residency in Mexico.
yes, through a different way. I'm gonna get my residency in Mexico, and I'm also gonna be there long term through investment in Vietnam. That's my goal and my plan using AI.
Let me see if I have anything left to say to ask. Because I think we covered it all.
I
Vietnam,
can tell you what
huh?
I
And
tested something here in Merida. I take Spanish under WA.
mhm.
What I've noticed, yes, speaking people learning Spanish are afraid to speak, but people that speak Spanish are afraid to also to speak to Americans. I've
Mhm.
noticed that, and they want to learn English. So
Okay.
while I was here, and before I leave, I've been tutoring my doctor on speaking
Hey,
on speaking English for free,
wonderful.
doing it for free, and going to turn it into a course all over a mango so people can get together over a mango. All they will have to pay is the 60 pesos to get a mango, and they sit in community
And practice English.
with each other.
Well, Miss Greta, you are so inspiring. There was so
Thank
much about
you.
your story I did not know. So I think I am so impressed usually with women who strive,
Yeah.
persevere, in the midst of challenges, like you say, life is what you make of it.
Yes.
Every single one of us has been dealt something, whether it's physically or in relationships or whatever. And as you say, it starts up here.
Suffer for
What
money.
you focus on is what you're going to find in life. So if you focus on the positive, positive will come back to you. If you focus on the negative, negativity will follow you. So is there anything else, Greta, you want to tell us to inspire us? Somebody the reason I wanted to have you on, Greta, is that, like I said to you in the beginning, is that I know there are some people. I mean, the situation can be really fierce and bad, and people are just, because I teach
Yes.
people online who are from all over the place, and they'll tell you it is so hard, it is so bad, right? So
Yes.
you thinking of going anywhere, right? But the money is not what other people tell you need to have this much, like
Mhm.
the financial planner is telling you need like $3.5 million to retire comfortably.
Yes.
So what would you
Yes.
say to someone who's on the fence, who's not independently wealthy, and who's for their mental health need to make a
Yes.
move, but they feel stuck?
For your mental health, first you need to calm down and write down everything that you fear. Write down everything that you fear. If I think about anything, I think about the scripture, come by, I think it's in Isaiah. It talks about how you can come and buy meat and milk and come and buy it
Hmm.
without money.
Right.
How you gonna buy anything without money? It's your
Yep.
mind. You're
Mhm.
gonna buy it with your mind. It's telling you right there. So first of all, in consciousness, um, consciousness is your medicine. You're speaking, you're thinking, you're hearing, you're feeling. All of that is medicine. Watch how you talk to yourself. Watch how you love yourself. Watch how you be to yourself. Those are medicines. How you think is going to serve you. If you think you don't have any money, you won't
Don't have
have
any money.
money.
Yes.
Become, if you don't have the physical money, which is not real, become money.
Mm. Become money. Okay. I
Become
like
money
that.
in your mind.
Hmm.
Embody the thought of money until it's hardened into fact in your wallet and in your bank account.
Hey.
You may come up with an idea that blows your mind. I come up with so many ideas, it
Mhm.
scared me, and I don't have anybody to share it with.
And I
Sit,
think that's so impressive that at our age, we
yes,
can still dream
yes,
and create. So you
yes,
can only limit yourself by your thoughts
by your thought.
of what you can and
Yes,
can't do.
yes, yes. I see myself as this new being that spirit created and said, I can
And
do
she is.
all.
Well, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I got to give her flowers. You guys who've been following me know I said I wanted a logo for SWA and all that. Guess who just created the logo? Missy over here. And I'm going to post it. You guys can give me some feedback, but she's so creative. I've always told you guys, I don't have one cell that's creative in my body. I do not. So I'm really impressed with people who can take their brush, their AI or computer or whatever, and create
Yeah.
something. Like, wow. So that's why it takes all of us together
Yes,
and we
yes.
can survive and strive. So, Greta, I know the time is just going along. I want to give you a special thank you. Now, Greta is my Spanish student, and we have so much
Thank
fun. In fact, we're going to
you.
graduate this weekend. Can't wait
Oh,
for that. Can't wait to post that one. But
have a
anyway,
great.
so she is just so inspiring that can you imagine rubbing your eye and going to a doctor and being told that you had not one, but two or three strokes in your eye? Somebody who is going for her PhD, studying to be totally blind in one eye. Just imagine that. She could have wallowed in self-pity. She could have gotten angry with the world, with God, but what good was that going to do her? So she chose to be positive. She chose to take what life has dealt her to make a better version of herself. Oh,
Yes.
That was deep.
Yes. I would say to those, anyone looking, watching, to the one that's struggling with bills, no money in your hand, not knowing where it comes from, release the how. Don't worry about how anything's going to happen. Take a notebook. And if you want to come to Merida, embody it and say, I am
Hmm.
Merida.
Speak it into existence.
Yes. And then speak what you want. And then
Right.
one day you will look back and you will see, I'm all of this. I look back at my vision board that I created last year. I got all of it.
And
What
more.
and more, including student loans being gone, dismissed. Y'all, it's not how it's going to happen. Do you have the belief that if you write it down, it can happen?
Well,
It can.
you talked before about doing your YouTube channel. That should be the focus of your YouTube channel, the
Yes, I
inspiring.
have it.
You
My
have it, the
YouTube
inspiring of people, because people sometimes need for somebody to speak those into them
yes,
to inspire
I'm
them.
going to
But
have
anyway,
to because I have so much. I know.
that you
But
want to share.
yes, my YouTube channel that I will be launching before I leave Merida is called Be More, Travel and Thrive.
Now there you go. You heard it here first. Be more, travel
That and thrive.
and
It's going
thrive.
it's going to talk
Mhm.
about my life and how I got to Vietnam and what I'm doing.
There you
But
go.
the second channel is going to be my spiritual channel for those who are there. It's going to be on consciousness,
Mhm.
thinking, speaking, living.
There you go. There you go. All right, Miss Greta. Again, I thank you so much. You are an amazing human being, and I'm so
Thank you.
grateful to have you in my life. And I hope
Yes.
you
Grateful to have
continue to be in
you.
my life for a lot longer.
Yes. Both
So
of
I
us.
don't think I'm gonna be able to see you in Merida. Maybe when you come on your second 6 months, maybe.
Yeah.
So we'll see each other. So thank you so much again. And you
Thank
guys, thank
you.
you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I
Yes.
am so grateful to have been able to bring this to you, this chat with my sister here. Thank you, Greta.
Thank you,
I'll see you
Maggie.
soon.
See you
Bye.
Saturday.
Au revoir.
Bye.